Hi there, I am Holly McDonald with the Costa Mesa Pod, where we discuss all things concerning the lifestyle, businesses, and activities that make Costa Mesa such a great place to live. Today I have Lety with me. Lety, hello, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Lety is amazing at facials and massages and pretty much anything to do with wellness. So, Lety, go ahead, introduce yourself, tell everybody a little bit about your business and what you do.
Well, my name is Lety. I have been in the wellness field for 20 years now. It seems like a really long time, but not really for me. I am a medical assistant, a massage therapist, and an esthetician. And so I first started in the medical field. So I have a strong background in medicine and how that shapes our wellness. I also was in a really bad car accident when I was 19. I sprained and strained my entire back. So I myself had to go through physical therapy and massages, chiropractic care, all that kind of thing to rehab. And I understand what it feels like to have pain and kind of go through that. And I think it's really important for people to know that there is help out there. Like if you have pain, just because you're 30 doesn't mean that's your life now. You know what I mean? There are things that we can do to help you, or at least minimize pain, make things better. Same thing with skin. A lot of people think, oh, I'm older now, so my skin's just going to be dry or wrinkly or pigmented. But there are things we can do that are really, really helpful and not like super invasive or super expensive. Our body needs a little bit of care. And my biggest thing is I just want to like educate people and let people know that that's available to you and you should take advantage of it.
Absolutely. I remember the first time I met you, your skin was glowing, and I was like, man, she's got good skin. But I mean, honestly, like it's a little bit like your business card, right? Like you wear it, but you do such a good job at going into some of the science behind it and then also the wellness behind it. And like for myself, I think you've made it really helpful to just think about taking care of like your skin, for example. Like it's just such a good thing for you to do on so many different levels. It's not just like this superficial thing. Like there's
Right.
actually benefits behind it. I'd love for you to share a little bit of the benefits behind any of the services that you provide.
Well, thank you. So my business name is called Myself, Mind, and Body. And it takes a lot to name your business. And the reason that I decided to go with that is because it encompasses everything about us. So yourself, and that includes your physical body and your spiritual self, your mind, and your body. And so a lot of times people disassociate like, oh, my skin is just my skin, or my pain is just my pain. But it all is intertwined, just like, your nutrition is important, your sleep is important. It's all intertwined. So that's why it's named that. And that's why whenever I do a service, whether it be a massage or a facial, yes, we're working on your skin or we're working on your pain, but ultimately, when we reduce pain and inflammation, we improve our overall health and wellness. If we have stress, I have a lot of women that come and have maybe hormonal acne and they're clenchers, and a lot of people think, well, that's hormonal acne or I'm touching my face or something like that. But actually what I have found is if you're a clencher and you have a lot of hormonal acne, it's from the tension in your face. And there is so much stress that we have because we have kids, because we have a job, because we have to pay the rent. So we have stress. Good stress and bad stress helps. Massaging helps with stress and anxiety. Facials help with stress and anxiety because I spend a lot of time massaging the face, working on the muscles. And if you have any kind of skin issue, that's stressful too. That affects your self-esteem, whether we like to admit it or not. It does at all ages, whether it's acne or lines, wrinkles, pigmentation, brown spots. It does on some level affect us. So if we can do little things to make us be happier when we look in the mirror, it goes a really long way beyond, like you said, the superficial, beyond your skin. It affects your psyche, and I'm here to help.
Yeah, well, I think, there's two things there. One, you mentioned that you had gone through like a traumatic, painful experience. And so you have like a personal connection to what you're doing and how it helped you. But I mean, also, there's so much to be said for just how much it can really help your psychology,
Mhm.
like we are in like a very high energy, like lots of things going on type of world. So to really take a moment, I know one thing you're focusing on a lot this year, which is built right into your name, is just wellness in
Yes.
general. So I know you've touched a little bit upon it, but why is wellness so important to you, and so important for you to help other people find?
I think it's really important because it, like I touched on it before, it encompasses everything. Wellness is not just nutrition. Wellness is not just going to the gym and exercising. Wellness is incorporating it into your life as a lifestyle and really trying to balance it all. Like we have so much going on and we're in a high stress all the time. We have these phones in our faces. We're constantly inundated with information. We don't even realize how agitated our nervous system is because of all of these things that are coming at us. And it's really easy to acclimate to the pain that you have, to the anxiety that you have. And, if all of your friends have anxiety, you might think that's normal. And to a certain degree, it is, but our environment really does agitate us a lot of the time. So, wellness is, everything: sleep, nutrition, diet, self-esteem, how you feel about yourself, and taking a moment to take a break and truly calm and relax makes a huge difference. A lot of people do a lot of nice things for themselves. They do yoga, they do exercise, they do meditation, they do journaling maybe. And those are wonderful things, but what I like to remind people is you're still being really active when you're doing these things. When you come into the treatment room and you literally just melt, you could go to sleep, you could just zone out. A lot of times we don't get that. Even when we're sleeping, our brains are still going. And one of the things that's really nice when you come in for a massage or a facial, people literally zone out and their brain turns off. And that is when you can really rest and reset yourself so that you can better assess your life and your stresses and your struggles. And so I think that part of the wellness and the part of the self-care isn't often addressed. So I want people to be more aware of that, and maybe they can start thinking about that when they're doing their self-care.
Yeah, that's a really good point. If you're doing something that is active, like where you're actually having to think or move, that's so different from when you come to see you for a service, because you're literally working on someone else. And I know when I had a facial by you, I was so just unwound, it felt so good, so relaxing. Felt like, wow, I don't need to do anything. I don't need to have my hands on anything. It
Right.
was so nice. And so you're right, that is a big thing. I wonder, with I'm pretty addicted to my phone, I'll admit it. With people having all of these high stimulation, whether it's their phone or their tablet or whatever, are you seeing any sort of are you seeing people be affected by either having the light in their face? Do you have any tips for dealing with that? Or even just
Yes.
holding the phone, how that, yeah.
Absolutely. That's a really good point. A lot of times people don't realize, our phone is this close to us and there's blue light, which we know there's blue light. People wear blue light glasses. We know that it affects our sleep and we shouldn't be on it right before we go to bed because it affects our sleep. It also affects your skin. The blue light from the phone causes damage on your skin. So sunscreen, I always tell people they should change the name. It shouldn't be sunscreen anymore. It should just be skin screen,
Yeah.
because it helps protect us from UV damage from our phones, from the sun. So making sure that you have sunscreen on, an SPF of 30. Most moisturizers have 15. That's not quite enough. So 30 is the minimum that we want to put on because it is going to protect us. Even if you're inside, you're sitting by a window. That light is coming in and affecting our skin. So that's really important. And I see it all the time too. If you look at your phone, you know, a lot of times we're like this. So that creates this unnatural curvature. It used to be called scholar's neck. So when people used to read books all the time, you would have that. Now we have phones. And so that creates a lot of tension in our neck. We also have computers. So this is not a very natural movement. And if you're working from home, you maybe don't have the best setup. I have a lot of people that come in with a lot of complaints of like neck, shoulder, back. And I'm like, okay, where are you working? On my couch. And I'm like, no, that doesn't help you. So being really aware of your ergonomics. A lot of times too, when people are driving, they'll lean, and then that causes a lot of issues. So kind of just being aware of where your body is in space, how you're holding it. Like, do you need to have that extra stress and strain on those muscles? Because ultimately over time, it will cause these issues that you think are just like, oh, these are just issues, but there are things we can do to prevent it and help it.
Yeah, well, they can come to you and you can help it, but there's also the preventative side too. So I love that. I know, like, when I came to you, you had all of these cool intake forms, which, you know, I thought were really cool. I also felt like a little bit like, I don't know, called out because I wasn't like, I wear sunscreen, but not like 30 plus, or now I do because of you. But coming in, I was like, oh my gosh, like she's gonna see my skin and like be like, what are you doing, lady? Like, you're crazy. So, but it, in a good way though, because obviously want to know the good things to do.
Yeah. And I think that's part of the issue why maybe people don't seek out like professional advice. I will never poo-poo any products that you're using. I will never be negative. You know, anything that I try to do is very constructive. And I think it's my job to point those things out for you. You know, I always tell people like, you didn't go to school for this. You haven't been doing this for 20 years. So when I explain something to someone, they're like, oh, that makes perfect sense. Like, why didn't I ever think about that? Because that's not how you're trained to think. That's how I'm trained to think. And like, I'll see it. I'll be driving, I'll be walking my dog, and I'll see people running and they'll have their phone, you know, and they're like holding it and they're running like this. And I'm like, oh, please stop, you know? So that's my job, to kind of like assess your anatomy and help you feel better. And then also give you tips to maintain the benefit, prevent it, or just, I think a lot of times just being aware, it's not going to go away right away because it didn't get there right away, but being aware that like, oh yeah, I'm leaning again. Like she said, I have so many clients come in and say, oh yeah, I was leaning. So now I don't lean as much and my neck doesn't hurt as much. And so it's just like little things that seeing a professional is going to give you like insight into some of the things that you can improve, like small little things that will improve the quality of your life and your wellness. So that's how it all ties in.
I want to touch a little bit on Costa Mesa since you're here, your business is here. This is the Costa Mesa Pod. So first of all, are you from here?
I am from LA. So I'm from California. I have lived in Orange County since 2011. I live in Costa Mesa. My house is like 10 minutes from the office, which is really nice. Previous to that, I lived by South Coast Plaza in like the South Coast metro area, but I worked at a chiropractor's office doing massage in Costa Mesa. And so I've been working in the city of Costa Mesa for like 10, 12 years now. And when I was working in it, I would just visit, you know, it's like the borderline. So I would visit a lot of the shops and I just really like the culture of Costa Mesa. It's cool, it's artsy, it's very free, and I really like it here.
Awesome. And then as a tie-in to like your business and what you provide, your services, we'll say wellness. How do you feel like wellness culture kind of is, you know, how does it fit in here? Whether you want to say Costa Mesa or like Southern California, Orange County, whatnot.
For sure. Southern California, I think we do emphasize wellness and kind of balance. So I think that wellness as a whole and self-care over the years has become more popular, and kind of, especially I think with COVID and working from home and realizing I don't have to drive 2 hours to work. I can work from home. Maybe I can have a little bit more work-life balance. That's also part of wellness. So I think it is very much important, an element that people are trying to achieve. So that's why I think it's important for me to kind of shed a little bit more light on what self-care and what wellness could truly be, and how much better you could feel if, you add a couple more elements to it.
Yeah. I mean, I can say that having moved here from the East Coast, there was like this stereotype that Southern California was all like wellness culture land, and everybody's super healthy and everything. And being here, there is a lot of truth to that, but it's not everywhere, right? It's not everything. It's a stereotype because it's generalization. Where do you feel like people could do better with their wellness here?
I think honestly, going to a professional to help them with things. Like I kind of mentioned before, people are good at meditation and yoga and things like that. But taking the time to really like turn off is really important. And I think it elevates your wellness to the next level. I see a lot of people for massage that exercise a lot. And of course, exercise is really good for you. But you exercise to the point where your muscles are overworked, they're strained, they're tight. And if you're a runner, for example, and you're running every day, but you never rest, you never get an actual massage, like you can foam roll and you can use like creams and you can stretch. And those are good tools to help try to elongate the muscles. But if you have a knot in there, it's not really going to give you the stretching isn't going to give you the benefit that you're looking for. Or for example, I had someone come in the other day and she was a chain spa member. She's a member. She told me that she gets massages like every 2 weeks, but she still has this awful pain in her neck. It was really, really bothering her. She met me at a networking meeting and was like, I'm going to give her a try. So we did our assessment. I've said, of course, I'm going to work on your neck. I'm going to work on your whole body because everything's connected. And through our assessment, I realized that it wasn't actually her neck, but it was her shoulder. And because her shoulder was forward, it pulled on her neck. So no matter how much you work on your neck, if you don't release the shoulder, then you're not going to get rid of that pain. And that's something that a professional can spot right away. But if you're at home and your neck hurts, you're going to work on your neck. And so if you've had pain for a long time and it's not getting better, seeking maybe a chiropractor, maybe a massage therapist, maybe acupuncture. If it didn't work for you, maybe pick someone else. That's another thing that I hear a lot is, oh, I went to a chiropractor and they didn't help me, or I didn't like them. And it's like, I can see that. Try someone else. There are different, not everyone is a perfect fit for each other. So that's one thing I also want to say is like, if you've tried it and maybe it didn't work, maybe try someone else. They have a different skill set, or that wasn't the perfect fit for you. Like, don't give up on yourself. Keep trying.
I know, I think you've emphasized that at some of the other meetings I've been at with you, where basically you kind of are like an inspiration because you tell people, you don't have to accept the fact that you have a pain or like a skin issue or whatever it is. Like, you don't have to live like that. There are so many options and there's so much like advances in science and technology. So I think, yes, having a professional evaluation can definitely give you some options that, you didn't know existed. Don't just Google everything and think that you can figure it out yourself.
I would say Dr. Google's not that smart, Yeah. And it's not like, and I think, like I said, earlier, where people might get overwhelmed because like, oh, look at my skin, I'm not washing it, or I haven't had a massage ever and, she's going to judge me. I'm not going to judge you. I'm here to help. I want you to feel better. I'm going to, do the best that I can and also give you as much information as I can to help you maintain that. And that generally happens over time because you can't like bombard somebody with all this information because they'll never retain it in their brain. We just don't work that way. So it does help when you come in, more than once to see someone because things change. So maybe your neck and your shoulder were bothering you, and now we alleviated that. But now all of a sudden you're like, wait, now my low back hurts. And it's like, no, your low back was hurting you. It's just that this hurt you more. So you were paying attention to that. So like it does. There's people that I've seen for 10 years, and that's not because I'm a bad therapist. It's because we're alive. Right? And so we could fix your issue, but you're still alive. You still brush your teeth, you still comb your hair, you still eat every day, or else you're gonna die. These are things that is wellness, having this kind of routine. And it doesn't have to be every week or every month. If you can only come in every 3 or 4 months, then good for you. I'm here, whenever you can fit it in is important. But I think having it be an element of your self-care and your wellness routine is really important.
So what kind of services can people come see you for, and where can they find you?
So I am in Costa Mesa. I am across the street from Triangle Square. I am above Roadrunner Sports. A lot of people know where Roadrunner Sports is. So I am above Roadrunner Sports in the Phoenix Salon Suite. And I specialize in therapeutic massages that help with pain, relaxation, stress, anxiety, and some of the things that people may not realize that massage is beneficial for. Most people come in for pain because something hurts or something's going numb. But when you get a massage and you relax your nervous system, your sleep improves, your digestion improves, your immunity improves. That's your wellness. Like, that is your body. Everything improves. So therapeutic massages, clinical facials, which just means that I have had people come in and say, well, I got a facial somewhere else, and they basically just washed my face. I don't see a difference. I don't feel a difference. I didn't learn anything. And I felt like it was a waste of my time. So clinical facials goes a little bit deeper than that. I do the skin assessment. I talk to you about your skincare routine, what you're using, what you're not using, what things you could add to give you improvements in your skin if that's what you're looking for. It's always just like as a guide to help you. And so those are the two main services. I also do skincare. And like I said, it's all just meant to help you feel better in your body, calm, relaxed, and educate. I've been doing this for 20 years. I've worked in California and on the East Coast. I've worked with some really, really top doctors, and I have a lot of really good education in my brain, and I want to share that with people because it's not the kind of things you can read from a book or an article or see it on TikTok or anything. These are like clinical education in the field that generally you don't really get unless you go somewhere and see someone with this kind of experience and training. So come see me.
Yes, you are a wealth of information. You always have good guidance and like tons of resources. So I think a lot of people will appreciate that. So everybody go check out Lety, go visit her, get some wellness. And thanks so much for doing this, Lety.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm so excited. I hope people take something away that, even if you don't see me, just something that you can add to your wellness, that, maybe being more aware of your posture, maybe not holding your phone, maybe using sunscreen. If you can take something away that will help you feel better, then I'm so happy to have shared that information with you.
Oh, you're the best. All right. Thanks, Lety. Bye.
Bye.